Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Sadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. To Sri Guru and Gauranga I bow, to Radha and her friends all reverence show. I bow to Krishna and his votaries, and to devotees of his devotees. Now, Sri Rupa's Padyavali. I had started on this before with a video, but because I had made so many mistakes, I thought I would scrap that one and start again. This time, I'm going to omit the reading of the shlokas so I can get through it and so you don't get held up with too many mistakes. So, first of all, the Mangalacharana, the auspicious observance, opens with a verse of the anthologist's own composition, so it's Sri Rupa's own verse. This rare anthology of choicest verse, which Lord Mukunda's fame and deeds rehearse, composed by rhapsodists and poets wise, makes billows on the sea of love to rise, charms with supreme delight the listening ear, dissipates ignorance and removes fear, which are compiled in sequence here to please and edify the learned devotees. Text 2. Now salutation. Hail to the Lord of lovely lotus eyes, who on his flute sounds dulcet melodies, who wears wild flower wreaths and joys to sip ambrosial sweets from Radha's tender lip. And now, invocation. That one was anonymous. The next verse, number 3, is by Sri Saranga. Lord Hari casts fond glances from his eyes, whose melting beauty with the lotus vies, upon his dear beloved devotees, who is in eager contemplation sought by mystic yogins who to him resort, yet those absorbed in meditative trance seek only for their own deliverance, who is the fountain source and resting place of radiant charm and sheen of pearly grace, and sweet surpassing beauty, at whose sight fair Radha's eyes dilate with vast delight. May Hari's lotus eyes and beauty rare assuage your grief and ease your worldly care. Text 4, continuing with the invocation, in this verse by Subhanka. May the strong arms of him who Kamsa slew grant blessings and auspiciousness to you. Those arms with bands of peacock plumes appeared, and with mud from Mount Govardhan besmeared. Those tender arms soft blue pillows provide in Brindavan to every cowherd bride, and were anointed with the ichor scent from Kuvalayapida elephant. Text 5 by Sri Hara, continuing the invocation. Who in the late afternoon in good time calls with his flute song the names of the kine, which hath power of perfect mystic spells that captivates the cowherd damosels. Herds of deer that roam Brindavan around are drawn toward him by that dulcet sound. May he who wicked Madhu did destroy, now in the form of playful cowherd boy, grant you all blessing and good fruits. Grant you all blessing and good fortune's fruit, occasioned by the music of his flute. Now, The glory of Sri Krishna. Text 6. The ocean, he can cause dry land to be, and he can turn dry land again to sea. A blade of grass, a thunderbolt to burn, and into grass a thunderbolt can turn. Who can by his mere will and his desire make the snow hot and cool the blazing fire? All hail to Krishna of the wondrous play, who doth extraordinary deeds display. That was anonymous, as is the next one, text 7. The glory of Krishna. Who from affection confers fearlessness, who promises to relieve all distress, whose condescension expiates all sins, whom he favours the highest blessing wins, who is the sublime worshipfullest Lord, by Shri, the goddess of beauty adored. Some here that bear testimony to this, to the world entire bear true witness. Prahlad and Vibhishana reverent, Panchali and the royal elephant, Ahalya, who was from a curse set free, and young Dhruva, the pious devotee. Text 8. Where was the hunter Vyada's piety? And where was young Dhruva's maturity? What knowledge could the elephant profess? What grace of figure did Kubja possess? What affluence could poor Sudama bring? Of what pedigree did Vidura spring? And where was Ugrasena's manly pride? Since Madhava is only satisfied by fond affection, pure, without motive, and revels in their expressions of love. That one was anonymous. Text 9. This one is by Sri Vishnu Puri. In action, what is the utility, propriety and impropriety, if there is steadfast love and devotion for the Almighty Illustrious One? The snake king emits potent poison dread. The moon doth sweet and balmy nectar shed. But the mighty god Mahadeva sees no distinction between either of these. Now, text 10, an anonymous poet says, if those discerning the service pursue of the feet of him who dread Madhu slew, from their hearts iniquity is absolved. But as for those who are elsewise resolved, then all the sins of the three worlds accrue, whether or not they do or do not do. Text 11, where again another anonymous poet says, not by the red cloth of a monk to wear, nor strict retrenchment of one's food to bear, nor in the penitential wood to dwell, nor discourses nor vows the mind can quell. But even the slightest undertaking in Govinda's lotus feet worshipping, who sports along Kalindi's banks, I find affords delight and mollifies the mind. Text 12, in a verse by Sri Sarvagya. Enough, enough, it is a certainty. Creatures are from their sins absolved and free, reciting Krishna, Krishna. As for those who intense love in Mukunda repose, the great goddess liberation extols, and at their blessed feet in a transport rolls. Text 13. In a verse by Sri Rai Ramananda. The worship of the friend of the distressed with various articles is addressed, but only a heart with pure love endued melts with excess of fond beatitude. So long as there is thirst and appetite, then eating and drinking afford delight. Text 14 in another verse of Sri Rai Ramananda. Whoso to love of Krishna is inclined, to relish the sweet humours in the mind, if it were to be purchased, at what price? Only intense eagerness will suffice, which is hardly ever to be attained in millions of births piously maintained. Text 15 by Sridhar Swami. Over wisdom, when balanced on the scale, the weight of pure devotion doth prevail. Upon the scale, the yoga powers great, with Krishna's name cannot compare in weight. Text 16 by the poet Sri Lakshmi Dhara. As when the sun rising illuminates, and darkness in all the world dissipates, e'en so by Hari's name all sin is quelled, and bondage of ignorance is dispelled. Hail to that which the world doth sanctify, the all-auspicious name of Lord Hari. So now, by the way, I should have mentioned, we're on glorification of the name, Sri Krishna Nama Mahatmya. Text 17 by an anonymous poet. Hari, the heart of the four Vedas distills, and fills with their essence 4 syllables, renowned as Lord Narayana to fame, the which syllables constitute his name. The chanting of this name, both day and night, cleanses the soul and fills it with delight. We know no other better means whereby we may the Supreme Hari satisfy. Text 18 in a verse by Sri Ishwara Puri. May twice-born ones by yoga practice gain, and in the penitential wood remain by study, pilgrimage and abstinence, fearlessness and release from existence. But as for that, may we spend all our days in thousands of lifetimes singing the praise of him who radiates the pleasing hue of fragrant clusters of the lotus blue, who through the solitary gardens roves, within delightsome fresh kadamba groves. Text 19. Now we're on the glory of the holy name, which is the source of all blessing and grace, which pollution of Kali doth efface, the cleanser of all cleansing agency, the nourishment giving vitality for those who tread the path of salvation, the seekers of final liberation. It is the ultimate resort and rest that poets in their verses have expressed. 'Tis the life of the good and resolute, and of the tree of righteousness the root. May Krishna's name, which such virtue doth show, auspicious blessings upon you bestow. And that was anonymous. Text 20, an anonymous poet says, Great Lord, should someone merely wish to sing your holy name, his sins start trembling. The great illusion falls into a daze, at his toenails would Chitragupta gaze. And even Brahma, joyful and impressed, prepares a welcome as to a worthy guest. O Lord, such power in your name there is. What indeed may we say more than this? Text 21, in a verse where the poet Sri Anandacharya says, What of the ruler of the world of ghosts? And what of his fearsome attendant hosts? if one by singular blessing is graced, and Krishna's name within his throat is placed. Continuing with the glory of the name. Text 22. The Sankirtan of Krishna I extol, which polishes the mirror of the soul, extinguishes the worldly forest fire, quenching the mind's insatiate desire. Or as the moon who sheds his balmy rays, the lily of eternal good displays its spreading petals and invigorates the wisdom bride, whose favour generates a swelling tide in love's unbounded sea, and grants at every step pure ecstasy. The entire self is cleansed of every stain. In Krishna's name such benefits obtain. And as you may have guessed, that is the first verse of Shikshastakam of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 23. If all the wealth and treasures that subsist, by an anonymous poet, in millions of Brahma worlds that exist, were gathered and estimated with care, it still would not with a fraction compare of the great glory, opulence and fame that constitute Sri Krishna's holy name. The name is my sustenance and my joy, my final goal and means that I employ. Text 24, in a verse attributed to Sri Vyasa. The sins of man Vishnu's name expiates. Virtue and piety it generates. It makes hopes of Brahma's world to gain and heavenly bliss insipid and vain. But it augments reverence and faith sweet in the divine preceptor's holy feet. It engenders sublime wisdom and true, touching the supreme nature of Vishnu. The repetition of death and birth dire, it burns the seed whereof like blazing fire. It fills with joy the conscious faculty and establishes profound serenity. Text 25, also attributed to Sri Vyasadeva. The thought gem of Krishna's names endued with conscious beauty and beatitude, complete, hallowed, and free and unrestrained, since the name is not different from the named. Text 26, in another verse by the same. Of all things sweet, this is the pure sweetness, most auspicious of all auspiciousness. It is the choicest ripe fruitage divine that grows upon the holy scripture's vine, uttered in faith, or even in disdain. A human being straightway doth attain salvation, best of Brigus I proclaim. Such is the potency of Krishna's name. Text 27, where an anonymous poet says, efforts to gain heaven's prosperity oppresses all the world with poverty, and those who labour salvation to gain receive for their exertion only pain. The disciplines of yoga do but waste the time and are devoid of taste. Wherefore should I in such endeavours try? Let my tongue rather Krishna, Krishna cry. 28, in a verse by Sridhar Swami. Your pristine primal state has been defined, existing everywhere and unconfined. Yet not one leaf has fallen despite this from the great tree of metempsychosis. But straight when the Supreme Lord's name is sung, and taken with delight upon the tongue, the great tree down to the root is destroyed. To serve which of these should we be employed? Next, verse 29 by Sri Lakshmi Dhara. This is also quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita somewhere. The holy syllables that constitute the name of Krishna bear immortal fruit. It is highly attractive to the mind of the sophisticated and refined. Even the lowest outcast, vile, receives the fruit and the great benefit achieves. It expiates all sin, and but for those who cannot speak, it easily bestows the wealth of liberation from all woes. It waits not for vows preliminary, nor on rites of diksha doth it rely, nor right conduct, but simply need be sung. The fruit is gained by contact with the tongue. Text 30, in a verse by Sri Bhavananda. Just as a miser over and again collects and counts and contemplates his gain, may I your names, delectable and sweet, always recount, remember, and repeat. Text 31, in another verse from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshastakam. You are, O Lord, for diverse names renowned, endued with your own potency profound. You have conferred in disinterested grace no rules of cleanliness, nor time, nor place, in contemplation of your holy name. Yet I am fraught with misery and shame, since in despite of your great favour shown, no love in me for your sweet name has grown. Text 32, again the same. Endued with a sincere humility, more low than straw, forbearant as a tree, devoid of pride, still others honouring, thus Hari's name one may constantly sing. So with that, the glory of the name and the right disposition to take up the chanting of the name, the next section, beginning with text 33, are a collection of Nam Sankirtanas, where the poets have used compound epithets of Krishna's names. I say compound epithets because they signify some beauty or some quality or some relation with a devotee that Krishna has. So the Nam Sankirtanas here, there are, let me see, 6 of them. These are also included in Sri Dhyanachandra Goswami's Sri Gaur Govinda Archan Smaran Padati, which for the Muhurta Seva, in other words, when the devotee rises from his bed before the end of night, he is to utter these names. So he includes these verses as suggestions for what devotees can chant when they arise in the morning. So text 33, this one is by Sri Lakshmi Dara. Sri Rama Janardhan, by man adored, Narayana, O universal Lord, O joy, O kind to those in sore distress, O Krishna, Lord of the lotus goddess, may my mind be submerged in the sweet sea of your names, swept by waves of ecstasy, and grant, O Lord, whom all the world reveres, that I be drenched in love and constant tears. Text 34, in another verse by Lakshmidhara. Shri's lover, Krishna of lotus navel, the only one beloved merciful, O Mukunda, by whom Mura was slain, your pure compound epithets I proclaim. With these names in a garland I will deck, that pilfers the grace of Lakshmi my neck. 35, in an anonymous verse. Krishna, Rama, Mukunda, Vamana, O Vasudeva, O Narasingha, O world preceptor granting every wish, cosmic turtle, wild boar, O mighty fish, save me from adversity. Raghu's Lord, by gods and demons and sages adored, by Narada and devotees implored. Ocean of grace, O son of Devaki, grant unflinching love for your feet to me. 36. it says it's attributed to Sri Vaishnava, but it is also can be found in Kulashekara's Mukundamala. O little cowherd, ocean of mercy, dear husband of the daughter of the sea, O Madhava, by whom Kamsa was slain, thou wert kind to the elephant in pain. O Rama's younger brother, lotus-eyed, and preceptor of the three worlds beside, O master of the cowherd damsels fair, afford to me divine protective care. May thy favour be granted unto me, since I acknowledge no other but thee. Text 37, again Sri Vaishnava. O blessed Narayana, lotus-eyed, Sri Rama, Sita's lord, O Nanda's pride, immutable Achyuta, belly-bound, Govinda, Mukunda, of joy profound, O Vishnu, chief of Raghu's dynasty, O Vasudeva, man-lion, Hari, O jewel preeminent in the crown of Indra midst the gods of high renown, O helmsman, bearing us across the sea, of this existence transmigratory, O Hari, Sri Krishna, all hail to thee. Now, the last one of the Nam Sankirtanams, this one, text 38, is attributed to Sri Gopala Bhatta. This one focuses more exclusively on Krishna in Vrindavan. O Lord, who at Bandira takes delight, whose crown is with a peacock feather dight, adorned with sandal paste, you bear the hue of the fragrant and spotless lotus blue. O master of Vrindavan's shady wood, O fond of sporting in Kalindi's flood, Sri Govinda, Mukunda, Nanda's pride, O exceeding joyful, O lotus-eyed, I am, O Lord, quite miserable and sad. O beautiful one, deign to make me glad. Now, text 39 begins with the glory of Krishna Katha, the glory of accounts of Krishna, in a verse attributed to Sri Vyasa. To hear what the Upanishads would say, from Hari's sweet accounts is far away, since the former doth not reduce to tears, nor melting heart, trembling, nor bristling hairs. Text 40. An anonymous poet observes, I do not, Lord, to heaven's bliss aspire, neither release from birth and death desire, but let my ears drink deep from day to day the nectar sweet tidings of Krishna's play. Text 41, where again an anonymous poet says, Ah me, it is a passing wondrous thing, the praises of Yashoda's son to sing, each word and phrase with deep meaning replete, as lovely as a stream of nectar sweet, which day by day, like moonlight, doth assuage, or sandal paste, the heat of this dark age. Text 42 by Sri Yadavendra Puri. The adolescent deeds of Nanda's son are as a vast ambrosial ocean, plunged and immersed therein, what need have we for liberation like a salty sea? Text 43, where Sridhar Swami says, accounts of your deeds sweet nectar convey, like a sea where some fortunate ones play, and taste pleasure the fourfold gains surpass, which they view worthless as a blade of grass. Sridhar Swami. Now, in text 44, we have an anonymous poet says, where worthy accounts of his noble deeds and discourse on Lord Achyuta proceeds, truly Ganga and Jamuna I deem, Godavari and Saraswati stream, and all the pure and holy shrines beside foregather in that place and there abide. Text 45, this one attributed to Sri Shankara. The goddess of enjoyment they adore, who seek to sate desire evermore. Salvation's goddess some propitiate, and in the hearts by yoga meditate. Eminent athletes their worship address to the goddess of joy and happiness. Still these could not compare with but a part of the vast joy Madhava's deeds impart. May the exploits of Madhava adored divine protective care to you afford. And now from text 46, meditation. See in a verse, a meditation verse by Sri Sarad Akara, who bears the pleasant and most handsome hue and fragrance of the full-blown lotus blue, whose fond adornment is a peacock plume, whose charming face glows like the fair full moon. With the Srivatsa and Kaustuba bright, his mark and gem, his ample chest is dight, who doth a shiny yellow garment wear, whose form is of exquisite beauty rare, and who is worshipped by cowherd beauties with glances from their lotus petal eyes, whom cows and cowherds eagerly surround, who raises dulcet strains with his flute's sound, whose limbs divine ornaments decorate. With love on Govinda I meditate. Text 47 in a meditation by an anonymous poet. The swaying pendants that his ears bedeck touch his left shoulders when he tilts his neck. His eyebrows, like the tendrils of a vine, are raised in keeping with the rhythmic time, whose soft protruding lips are slightly pursed, while here and there his glances are dispersed, who sprout like fingers on his flute alight, which then he plays with exceeding delight, who stands beneath yon wish-fulfilling tree, with charming figure curved in places three. On that form I devoutly meditate, the world enchanting beauty incarnate. Text 48 by the poet Purushottama Deva. Who doth against his soft lip the flute press, who wears a bright champak flower headdress, whose broad shoulder inclines toward the left. Hail to him, who cancer of life bereft. Text 49 in a verse attributed to Sri Narada. A charming triple curved posture displayed, one lotus foot over the other laid, whose lovely curly locks loosely hang down from underneath his peacock feather crown, who takes his bamboo flute and gins to play. To that merciful one I bow and pray. And now the glory of the Lord's love for devotees. In a verse attributed to Dakshinatya, a southerner, but as far as I'm aware, this verse is actually written by the poet Parashara Bhatta. Anyway, so this is text 50. When hearing Gajendra's plaintive appeal, the great Lord, mindful of his lover's weal, the comforts of his dainty bower resigned, assistance from his chief of hosts declined, nor cared to put his spangled slippers on, nor on the bird king's back a saddle flung. His only thought, while in great haste he sped, who calls me thus? Amazed I bow my head, how wondrous Hari saved the Tusker chief, with timely aid, and brought to him relief. Text 51, Vyasa, and is Draupadi speaking. who like Ravi rising dispels the dark, for those in the sea drowning like a bark. For the thirsty, a cloud showering rain, for those who have no wealth, the highest gain. For those who lay in distemper and sick, the physician who provides the physic. Toward us solely doth his way address, to confer on us all auspiciousness. The glory of devotees in a verse, text 52, in a verse attributed to a southerner. Prahlad, Narada and Parasara, Pundarik, Vyasa, Shuka, Saunaka, Bhishma, Dalbya and Rukmangada famed, Uddhava Arjuna as Falguna named, Vibhishana and many others too. O worthy devotees, I bow to you. Text 53, in another verse attributed to Anonymous. King Parikshit, by hearing Vishnu's praise, and Vyasa's son, by chanting of his lays, Prahlad, by constant deep recollection, and Lakshmi, by his feats adoration, Pritha, by worship Prithu, by worship ceremonial, Akrura through his hymning recital, the Lord of Monkeys by fond servitude, Arjuna by friendship and solicitude, and Prince Bali by self-resignation. All these have gained the supreme perfection. By their respective methods thus maintained, the lotus feet of Krishna have attained. Text 54 by Sri Autkala, which I presume means an Orissan poet. All hail to those by vast ecstasy stirred, when syllables of Krishna's name are heard, who begin to dance freely without care, with rising up of the bodily hair, whose very sandals salvation convey, and raise up souls stuck in the muddy clay. Text 55 by Sri Sarvananda. Those pious souls that recollect Hari are overwhelmed with supreme ecstasy. Copious waters from their eyes descend, and all their bodily hairs stand on end. O earth, so long as the sun and moon shine, affords to them your protection divine. Why care at all for the burdensome weight of those who come and go to Yama's gate? Text 56, again by Sarvagya. The husband of the rivers, the great sea, is but a palmful to your devotee. They take as a mere firefly the sun. Mount Meru doth a clump of mud become. A mighty imperator, bold and brave, seems no more to them than a lowly slave. They value as pebble the wishing gem. The wishing tree is but a stick to them. They have for straw-like worldly life no care. Their own bodies are burdensome to bear. Text 57, attributed to Madhava Saraswati. Blinded by dust of the philosophy of Mimamsa, the Lord they cannot see, and those whose hearts by logic are made hard are from the sweet topics of Hari barred. And some may comprehend Scripture's decree, but know not him, the sweet lover of Shri. As tasty dishes that others consume cannot be relished by ladle or spoon. Next, text 58, by an anonymous poet. Some wisdom cultivate, some others too, with dedication pious acts pursue. But we, the servants of Hari, entreat, resorting to the slippers of their feet. Text 59, in a verse of his own by Sri Rupa Goswami. When your names by the sainted souls are sung, a festival is started on the tongue. Your dark beauty like a rain cloud supplies, like black ointment that decorates their eyes. The dulcet music of your flute to hear is the adornment placed upon their ear. O mighty Lord, we no longer aspire to worldliness nor entertain desire. Text 60 in another verse by Sri Rupa. My elephant mind sinks into the sea of this existence transmigratory. The three afflictions torment and beguile as if seized by a mighty crocodile. My mind is distressed like the Tusker chief and cries out for immediate relief. Oh, save me with your glowing discus bright, which frees the gods from fear, Sudarshan height. O Lord, the one compassionate and kind, save and rescue my elephant-like mind. Text 61 in another verse of Sri Rupa's. I sink and flounder in the boundless main, with eddies and currents of diverse pain, swept down by whirlpools of extreme distress. O Lord, thou art friend of the shelterless. I have no stay, and stray far from the land. O mercy moon, extend to me your hand. Take 62. Now we have a verse by Sri Ishwarapuri. O Lord Mukunda, in your remembrance, Vrindavan's mango tree begins to dance, and becomes dizzy, shaken by the breeze, is vocal with the swarms of humming bees. The oozing sweet sap dropping down appears, as if the mango tree were shedding tears. The fresh sprouts and leaflets it doth extend, as with great joy the hairs all stand on end. Alas, O Lord, the cause whereof impart. Why will your name not enter in my heart? Text 63, attributed to Sri Utkala. To Draupadi, how swift you brought relief! How speedily you saved the Tusker chief! O kind Hari, now I in grief am cast, but whither has gone all your eager haste? Text 64, and I'll leave it here, in a verse by Sri Jagannath saying, O Yadu's Lord, when hearing of your fame, and learning that you are known by the name, friend of the downtrodden and indigent, friend of the downtrodden and indigent, I am aroused to fond encouragement. But when of your affection I hear, and how your devotee to you is dear, that bears of Bhakta Vatsala the name, my heart flutters and shivers through my frame. Hare Krishna. That was text 64, so the next episode will begin with text 65, continuing with the expressions of devotees.